O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Imagine realizing that the ancient text you've been reading your whole life isn't just, a book. It's actually a three-dimensional mathematical equation.
Yeah, it is a wild concept to wrap your head around.
Right. So welcome to a deep dive into the hidden architecture of the Hebrew language. We've got a stack of linguistic history papers and mystical texts in front of us today.
And our mission is basically to uncover how these tiny dots and lines, known as the Niquid, transformed a pretty static ancient alphabet into this incredible numerical map of the universe.
Which sounds like science fiction, but it's history. To really grasp this, we first have to understand the linguistic puzzle of ancient Hebrew.
Exactly. I mean, for centuries, it was an abjad, which essentially means...
An abjad.
Yeah, an abjad. That means the written script only contained consonants. The vowels weren't actually written down at all. They were just supplied by the reader based entirely on context and oral tradition.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. So reading ancient Hebrew was basically like trying to decipher a personalized license plate with no vowels.
That is a perfect analogy. And a three-letter root on that license plate could be, a noun or a verb in the past tense, or even a proper name.
All depending entirely on the breath you use to speak it out loud.
Right. It wasn't until around the 6th to 10th centuries that a group of scholars known as the Tiberita Masoretes finally standardized it. They provided the instruction manual, adding the niquads, those tiny vowel dots and lines.
But they did it without altering the sacred consonantal text itself.
Right. And that completely changes your relationship to the text. I mean, especially for the Kabbalists.
The Jewish mystics, right?
Yeah, the mystics who sought the hidden layers of meaning in the Torah, they started viewing the consonants as the static body of the text and the vowels as the animating soul.
Wow, because a body without breath is motionless.
Exactly, the vowels are the breath. But these vowel markings actually did way more than just fixed pronunciation. They unlocked a completely new layer of gematria.
And gematria is the traditional mystical system where letters have numerical values.
Right. But in this specific system, which is called Mispar HaNiquid, the physical shapes of the vowels themselves carry specific mathematical weights.
Oh, interesting. So a dot symbolizes the smallest letter, yod, so it equals 10. And a line symbolizes the connecting letter, vav, so it equals 6.
Yeah, and let's look at how that actually changes the math. Take the consonantal root, A, B, D.
Okay.
In standard gematria, those three letters always add up to 72. But once you factor in the vowels, the math completely splits.
Right.
If you vocalize it as Eved, meaning servant, the math jumps to 132.
Let's do the math on that so it makes sense to everyone listening. The word Eved uses a vowel called a seagull, which visually is just 3 dots.
Right.
Since 1 dot is 10, a seagull is 30. There are 2 seagulls in Eved, which adds 60. Take the base of 72, add 60, and you get 132.
Exactly. But if you vocalize that exact same root as avad, meaning he worked, it uses a line and a line with a dot. That adds 22 to the base, making it 94.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, but I have to push back a little bit.
Sure.
If they're just assigning a 10 to a dot and a 6 to a line, aren't they just reverse engineering a code, like to make the math fit whatever meaning they want?
I mean, it looks that way to us. But to the mystics, these weren't arbitrary values at all. The letter yod, the dot, represents the essential point from which all creation emerges.
Oh, I see.
And the vav, the line, signifies the downward flow of divine energy. They are quantifying an exact state of being. So the structural state of being a servant, 132, vibrates mathematically differently than the action of working, 94.
That is fascinating.
And by the 13th century, mystics like Abraham Abulafia were actually bringing this code off the paper and into the physical world.
Wait, what do you mean? So they're actually putting their physical bodies into the mathematical equation?
Yeah, he practiced what you could call somatic gematria. Abulafia would physically mirror the graphical shapes of the vowels with his head while chanting.
Seriously?
Yeah. For a cholam, which is a dot above a letter, he raised his head toward the heavens. For a hierik, a dot below, he lowered his head.
And if the vowel is a horizontal line?
The head moves side to side.
Wow, it sounds like a highly specific mathematical form of Tai Chi designed to unlock the geometry of a word.
That is exactly what it is. The mystic aligns their physical body with the numerical vibration of the language. The breath, the math, and the physical movement all become one single mechanism.
The Neekwood essentially turned Hebrew into a living crystal, like a structure yielding completely different insights depending on your angle of approach.
Right.
It really challenges you to look at the mundane information you consume daily. I mean, think about the vowels in your own name. If a simple change in breath changes the math of reality, what hidden structural depths are you glossing over?
Absolutely. And Abulafia wasn't just doing spiritual gymnastics either. He was aligning with what mathematicians believe are universal constants.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Think back to those base values. The foundational vowel dot is 10 and the line is 6.
10 divided by 6 is 1.666.
Exactly.
That is astonishingly close to the golden ratio, which is roughly 1.618, the mathematical proportion found literally everywhere in nature, from seashells to spiral galaxies.
Mind-blowing.
So if these ancient vowel values mirror universal constants, are the mystics merely reading a text, or are they mathematically speaking the geometrical blueprint of creation itself? Next time you look at a blueprint, ask yourself, what is the math of the spaces in between?